Hi, my name is Ron Dorn. I'm here to talk to you about the GPH 112 Physical Geography Lab class, about how we're going to run it and about the class in general during the COVID Fall 2020 session at ASU. So I'm going to shift to screen sharing here so you can both see the Canvas site and also the presentation that I'm going to make to you explaining how this class is going to work for fall session C. It's a 15-week course. Um, the first thing I'd like to point out is that the course is run through Canvas, but I've already sent you information on how you can access the materials before the course actually starts so you can check things out. And another thing I want to note right off the bat is that sometimes you are going to be asked for a logon and password to get access to different materials in the class that's hidden behind a password protected firewall. The password is GPH1, I'm sorry, the logon is GPH111 and the password is Gaia. It's the information down here. There are two different presentations for two different Canvas sites. There's the GPH 111 Physical Geography Lecture. That's a different Canvas site and a different presentation. And then there's this presentation that goes with this particular Canvas site. Right away, one of the most common sorts of questions students ask is about the materials. You don't have to buy a textbook. There's no lab manual to buy. Replacing a lab manual are geovisualization video games that enable you to complete the labs. The cost of all of these is the same as a lab manual used by on-ground students, but you need to use a laptop or a desktop computer. Phones won't work, tablets won't work. They'll work with Macs or Windows operating systems, and you'll need 4 gigabytes of RAM. The instructions on how to purchase and download these are on the welcome section of the Canvas course, and it's also provided to you in the information I've sent to you earlier. Let me show you one of these geovisualizations and why we're using them. This is the San Francisco Peaks area around the Flagstaff region, and you're looking at an avatar. Oops. You're looking at an avatar that I can control. I can control the camera angle like a video game. I can zoom in, zoom out, and I can move the avatar. The avatar happens to be standing in Schultz Pass, which is sort of between Mount Eldon and Flagstaff area. And I've zoomed out so you can see that there's a cluster of lightning strikes. This game is absolutely unique because these are data from August of cloud to ground lightning strikes. And in this lab, you get to interpret why you see patterns of lightning strikes where you do. You'll be using a Landsat overview on the topography, and you'll be looking at air temperature data and also rainfall information. So this is the same thing that would happen in a real physical geography lab course, only it's cooler because instead of looking at maps physically, you're looking at a geovisualization where you as the avatar can interact with the data. That's really what we're all about in this lab. So to continue this discussion and presentation, I want to stress for you that in this time of COVID and in the regular way we're all at the class, there is a big team to help you. So this is the home page for the course in Canvas, and I am the coordinator or the lead faculty for all the GPH 112 labs. Ryan Heintzman and I developed the labs together along working with Two Ben Coppers, the group that built the game. Then we have a group of instructors and tutors to help you and a laboratory coordinator. So here are all the emails available to you. Myself, the team of Session C instructors, the peer tutors, and then an additional instructor who is available for August and September to set up Zoom sessions. The peer tutors are expert undergraduates in this subject material. The instructors are senior PhD students that are going to be future professors. We're all dedicated, extremely dedicated to helping you have a great time in this class, learn the material, and do fantastic. So probably the most important part about this presentation is for you to be convinced that we are COVID ready, that we want you to pick the way in which you want to learn that works best for you. We're rolling this out in a way that's fully online asynchronous so that if your world falls into chaos, you can pick up the lab at any point and any time and get work done on it to focus on something different than whatever crisis may be happening in your life and your family. We are also ASU Sync, meaning fully online and synchronous with your lab group. And you can also sit on Zoom sessions with other lab groups if you want to look at things again and you want a refresher, or you just missed your lab group for that particular week. We will also hopefully be able to do a mixture of on-ground and online synchronous. If conditions allow for some students to go into the Stouffer 812 classroom, that would be fantastic. So your instructor will be socially distanced, CDC guidelines, and others will be able to Zoom in at the same time. And then I think it's very unlikely, but we're ready to go fully on ground if conditions permit. One of the things that enables us to be able to do this with great flexibility is that we are not using the traditional on-ground equipment. The equipment that you would normally use in an on-ground lab, well, we don't have enough for every individual, and we don't have the way to clean them properly. So normally people would share the equipment and go out in lab groups and make measurements in the Tempe area. We can't do that, so we're using video game interactive geovisualizations. You'll start with Hawaii, and then you'll do the Lightning Lab, and then you'll work towards the two Grand Canyon labs, both the idea of microclimate and vegetation and interpreting the landscape that you see in terms of the rock types. The way to get help in this class is both easy and flexible. Posting questions on the discussion board is the best way for everybody to benefit. But you can't post some things. For example, things about your grade, you would want to send an ASU email to your instructor, and that's the only way to get information. Also, sometimes people want to set up Zoom sessions to get peer tutoring individually. So what I recommend you do is not use Canvas messaging. That's complicated for us. We want you to send a regular email from your ASU email account and email everybody you see in the Canvas website, myself, Session C instructors, Session A instructors, and the peer tutors. That way, if you want to set up an individual peer session, if you send a regular email, we can hit reply all, answer you, and we know that that email has been answered. If you send it via Canvas messaging, we won't know that there's been any information in exchange. Please avoid Canvas messaging for email. I want to emphasize that I'm the coordinator of all the 112 labs. It's a fantastic class. I'm enthusiastic about it. So if you have any commentaries about how the course is going, the materials, you see typos, you see problems, contact me. For the navigation in the course, there's two ways to navigate. On this front page here, in the home page here, you're having the same information here, the different labs, Hawaii, Lightning, Grand Canyon microclimate, Grand Canyon topography, information on how to get help, grades, discussions, tutorials on video games. We have a big long list of tutorials, the modules, how to purchase the game, reading the syllabus, and the starting here information, which takes you to this presentation and other information. All of this is available in a way I actually prefer by looking at the modules. The modules are a welcome module where you take the syllabus quiz, you tell us about yourself, it's optional, how to purchase the games, how to play the games, how to get help in the class, and then a page that I made to be able to post the grade. Requested by students, information about suggestions and video tutorials, the four main game-based labs, Hawaii, Lightning, Grand Canyon microclimates, why is the Grand Canyon so grand, and ways to earn additional points by going on a tour of Hawaii, a tour of Northern Arizona, or conducting research for a future vacation. So I like the Canvas modules as a way to navigate the course, but it's up to you how you want to do it. Due dates. For the Session C course, Each of the game-based labs are going to be due every 3 weeks. So that'll put us through week 12. The pacing guide that I want you to think about is what grade you want. This class uses a point-based accumulation system. There are 110 points available. 45 points are needed to earn an A, 51 an A plus. So there are plenty of points. And the first lab for Hawaii is going to be due at the end of week 3. The second lab for Lightning is due at the end of week 6. The third lab for Grand Canyon microclimate is due at the end of week 9. The fourth lab on the Grand Canyon topography, rock types, is due at the end of week 12. And that gives you extra time for you to earn more points if these game-based labs were not good enough for you. In other words, if you had some problems, came into complexities, you can still do additional assignments. But I want you to please try to work ahead of this pace. Don't get behind. Failures are not an option. We don't want you to fail. We don't want you to repeat the class. That would be horrible. We want you to all earn an A. So getting behind is the way to fail this class. If you're curious about why you were even taking this class in the first place, pause the presentation and read this explanation. It goes into the reason why this laboratory science class exists. Grades. Please read the syllabus. This is just a synopsis of the syllabus. The syllabus is the contract between you and me. So your grade is based upon accumulated points. This means that there's no penalty for not doing an assignment. And there's no penalty for incorrect answers. You just have to do the work to show that you earn the grade on other assignments. 25 points are needed to earn a D, 32.5 to C, 40 for a B, 45 for an A, and 51 for an A+. Canvas, however, is lousy with this sort of a grading system. It will try to show you the percentage, what you missed, how many grades out of something. Ignore that, only focused on the accumulated points. Please review this key points. I don't want to read them to you. You can pause the presentation and just do this bullet list of what's in the syllabus. So getting started, you need to pass a syllabus quiz, which is another way to review the syllabus. It's kind of a tongue-in-cheek, a little bit sarcastic way to make sure that you really understand the rules. So why are we using these geovisualization games? Other than that it's the only way we can think of to provide a world-class education under COVID conditions. The real reason is that it simulates what science is about, doing scientific research, exploring data, answering questions, moving way beyond boring fill-in-the-blank lab answers that you might have done in high school or horribly, maybe even another college class. That would be terrible. Physical geography is a spatial science. We look for the processes that explain the patterns that you see in life. And these games allow you to look at real data and do real science, but at an introductory level that requires no prior background and knowledge. So you're going to be able to explore the data in a way that's far more intuitive than even something like Google Earth. And we can't use Google Earth because you can't see things like the temperature on Google Earth or dew points on Google Earth or isohyads. And also you can't interact with it in the way that you can by moving around a digital elevation model. If you are a parent, and many ASU students are parents, have your kid play the game for you. Give your kid the mouse, the game controller, and have them play while you take notes. They'll learn a little bit, they'll have time, you'll have good time with them. Try it. So the labs are Hawaii, where you interpret the patterns of lava flow on the volcanoes. And the reason why you see the stair steps in this game shot image is that that's the data we have. Digital elevation model data are every 10 meters or 30-meter grid cells. And the smoothing is not really the data. So there's really steps in the data that portrays the Hawaiian topography. So you can see the lava flows up on top and the rainforest down below. And you'll be interpreting the patterns of volcanoes, the rainfall patterns that you see, looking at glaciers and how river valleys are carved. It's the full suite of physical geography. In the lightning lab, you learn to interpret the reasons behind the lightning strike patterns. In the Grand Canyon, we have two different labs because the Grand Canyon is an amazing area. One of them explores the relationship between the climate and the microclimate and the vegetation that you see. And the other one puts you on the geological map where you can look at how the rock types help influence the amazing scenery and topography. And you'll deal with how the Grand Canyon formed and how it widens. So the Canvas module allows you to get oriented right away before you jump into the Hawaii lab. And there's help in how you play a geovisualization because to tell you the truth, I'm 62 years old and I didn't know how to play video games. It took me a while to get used to it. So you can look at my YouTube or my game page on how to play the game, or you can look at it and chuckle it if you play a lot of video games. So again, to review, the order labs are due Big Island at the end of week 3, Northern Arizona Lightning Lab, week 6, Microclimate of the Grand Canyon 9, Grand Canyon Topography week 12. Again, to review, when you ask a question, post something on the discussion board and add a screenshot that's showing the issue that you're dealing with. Don't use your phone to take a screenshot. If you don't know how to use your computer, just ask YouTube, how do I take a screenshot with my Windows 10 computer? Lastly, I want to go over the typical issues that come up that I want to emphasize before ending this presentation. First, 5% of the students taking this class will fail because they ignored the final due date posted on the top of the syllabus, and they ignored the due dates for the individual assignments. Please don't let this happen to you. Second, don't bother asking for extra credit. There's no such thing. That's a high school concept. The entire class is just a way for you to demonstrate your knowledge by earning points. 110 points are possible. 51 is needed to reach an A+. Please ignore the percentage and out of information displayed in the Canvas gradebook. I can't delete that stuff. It's irrelevant to your grade. Only the accumulated points matter. If you have problems with this class, please ask for help early. Don't hesitate to schedule a Zoom tutorial. We have a team of people ready to go at it with you individually, where we can see what's going on your computer and we can walk you through problems you're having. Don't bang your head against the keyboard, ask for help. But if you're having problems with your computer, the ASU help desk can help you. The instructor has no idea how to fix if it's a problem on your end. Sometimes we can troubleshoot issues in an installation of the game. Like if you've never installed the sort of software before on a Mac, there's guidance on the Canvas website on how to solve these problems. You can post it to the discussion board and get other students to help you. But if it's your computer itself, we can't help you. Please pick up the phone and call the ASU help desk. In summary, we're wildly enthusiastic about helping you have a fantastic time exploring physical geography and then use this class to enrich your life by knowing how to interpret what you see when you encounter the natural world. Have a wonderful time, and I look forward to helping you along with our entire team.